Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's me Vijay. A few subscribers and viewers of my YouTube channel had asked me a few questions about my journey as a book reviewer. How I started reading books, what kind of books did I read, and how did I get into reviewing books myself, and what is my aim, my goal for this channel. What am I doing with this channel, and what do I want to achieve with this channel? So I decided to answer these questions through this video. Firstly, they asked me, how did I get interested in reading books? Well, my parents have played a huge role in getting me interested into reading books. When I was really young, about 3 or 4, they started buying me picture books, really simple books with very less words, but they had a lot of pictures. And so I used to go through the story and I used to see all these pictures. And that was a really interesting experience for me. They used to read books to me and I used to hear the stories. I could imagine things going on in my head, and so that sparked an interest for me to read more books. I really enjoyed the stories. They also used to take me to story time in the library, where it was a very interactive and interesting experience, because it wasn't just about reading there. It was about hearing the story, enjoying the story. They would have plays, puppet shows, and interactive story sessions where they would read the books and we would have to act out as the characters. So when I was acting as the character, when I was experiencing what it was to be the character, that really sparked the interest for me to go through more stories. Because when I opened a book, when I heard a story, it was a completely different world, a completely new world. I was going through places which I've never heard of. But when I read through the story, when the story was described, I could imagine things going on in my head. And so I progressed on to other books. Firstly, it was picture books, and then I progressed to books with a few more words, like Frog and the Toad, Clifford the Big Red Dog, and Dr. Seuss books. So these books had pictures, but they had words in them too. So I used to go through the words, and all these words were very simple. So I used to go through the words with these. And so I progressed on to, chapter books, which had chapters in them, lots of words in them, and lesser pictures. But at this time, I had understood that you don't need pictures to read a book. All you need is your imagination. And so I went on to even more books. I kept consuming and reading lots of books. And the thing with me was, when I started, if I found a series, the first book in the series, and if I found it interesting, I would make sure to read the rest of the series if I enjoyed the first book. And this is something which I have always done with books. So when I started a book, if it was in a series, I would make it a mission to complete the whole series, to read all the books in the series. And so I completed a few series, like The Magic Tree House, A to Z Mysteries, Flat Stanley, and Geronimo Stilton. These books were interesting stories. If you want a list of books which I've read until now, and the stories and the ages I've read them to, you can go to the description below, and I have a list of the books. The second question that they asked me was, when did you take to posting reviews on your YouTube channel? Well, I was around 8 or 9 years old when I used to watch a lot of YouTube videos. I used to watch a lot of movies and reviews on YouTube. And these reviews are mostly toy reviews, talking about different toys, different gadgets, different technologies. And when I saw these reviews, I was really intrigued by them. So I wanted to do something of my own like that. And so whenever my parents used to get me a new toy, or they used to get me a new gadget, I used to want to review it. And so I asked my parents if I could, and they said fine, and they encouraged me. And so I started with reviewing these gadgets, these simple toys. And then I thought to myself, I've read a lot of books too, so why don't I review these books? So I went on YouTube and I searched if there were any other book channels. But there were no other book channels that was targeted to my age group. I thought to myself, why don't I start doing that? and I started doing these book reviews. At first, I didn't get many views, or I didn't have much interaction on YouTube channel. But my parents made sure I didn't give up. They kept encouraging me, and people started watching my YouTube channel, subscribing to my YouTube channel, and they used to send comments to me, supportive comments, talking about how they also enjoyed the book, how they supported my journey, and that really encouraged me. That gave me an ego boost, and so I decided to post more reviews. And I have been posting reviews and reading books like this for the past 8 years. And through this journey, I've been reading a lot of books, and my subscribers have grown over time, and that's really encouraged me. The next question they asked me is, what are you reading now, and what are you planning to post? Well, now that I'm in 12th grade, I haven't got much time, to pursue reading. Or maybe it's just that I don't find time or make time to read books myself. But currently I'm reading The Lord of the Flies and another book which is called The Great Gatsby. Both of these are classic books, and I decided to pick these up because they're classics. I want to read more classics now before I go on to other series. So you can expect these book reviews coming up in the next few weeks. They asked another question that they asked is, what has been my goal? What has been my mission through this YouTube channel? Initially, it was just purely out of passion that I was doing these book reviews. But as I grew up and as I saw the real world, like experienced different things, I understood that people in this digital age don't find the time to read books, or they don't want to read books. But the true enjoyment of reading a book is unlike anything else. You can always watch a movie, watch a series, or watch YouTube videos, and those things are interesting, and I can't deny that. But the thing is, with a book and an audiobook, while you're reading the book, while you're hearing the audiobook, you're not just reading something or going through a story. You can actually, most people can actually imagine the story going on in their head. They can go in the point of view of the person, and this is unlike any other media stream. Each person reads the same book, but they have a different outcome out of those books. They take something different away from those books. Each person has their own mindset, their views, and when they read a book, they have a completely different takeaway than somebody else. And that's why I really enjoy reading books. And so what have I done to promote reading? Well, this YouTube channel has tried to bridge the gap between the digital world and the world of books. What I try to do in these videos is I try to summarize the books, give my takeaway from these books, what I enjoyed about these books, and I encourage viewers to go and read the books themselves, because they may have a completely different view than I did. They may not enjoy the book as much as I did, and that's all right and fine, because they have their own point of view. But what I want viewers to do is go and read the book, go and understand what I'm talking about, read the book for themselves. So what I've done to promote this is I've done a few giveaways in the past. I've given away books from my own collection to my subscribers, as well as funding other people passion to buy books. People may not have the funds, the resources to buy all these books. So what I did was I selected a suitable person every day for 1 month, and I bought books for them worth 500 rupees, and that was a really interesting experience for me. People had different reading tastes, different reasons for why they wanted the books, but all of them had that passion for reading books, or passion for studying, or passion, the aim, the goal, the mission. Book reading and book buying, an expensive hobby. Well, it is a bit of an expensive hobby. In India especially, there are not many libraries which have a vast or extensive collection. And even if they are, the fees for these libraries are quite high. So instead, people opt to buy second-hand books from local dealerships, local bookstores, and while the books are priced at a reasonable price. But the thing is that even though it is a bit of an expensive hobby, once you have a passion for something, once you really enjoy reading, the expense part becomes secondary because you're enjoying reading, you have a passion for reading, and you share. And especially for me, because I'm sharing my book reviews, I don't find this as a big expense. You can ask my parents; they may differ from that opinion. People have asked me is, who is your favorite author and why? Well, I can't say that I have a single favorite author. When I read a series or when I read a particular author, I really enjoy reading that author, and so I decide to go for more books by that author. So you'll see that I have a few select authors which I have a lot of books by. For example, George R.R. Martin. Once I started reading the first book, I really got into the series. I really enjoyed the style of the author's writing. It's the same way for Graham Greene, John Grisham, James Patterson. Another question was, what is your advice to young other readers? Well, what I want to say to other readers out there is that while there are many obstacles to reading, while you may have these periods where you may not want to read a lot, or you may feel tired of reading, give it a break. Go back to reading. You'll see how much you enjoy it. And I've done this many times. I've given it a break. I've given reading a break of about 1 month, and then I got back to the books, and I really enjoyed reading. So I hope viewers' questions have been answered, and I will go back to posting other YouTube reviews